Hello, gamers! As we all know, SCP is a vast community full of different mediums one can enjoy, be it reading articles from the wiki, watching fun animations on YouTube, or just seeing fan art online. But one type always stands above the rest: SCP games. The good, the bad, and the mediocre. Though being popular doesn't often lead to good results when it comes to SCP, the so-called SCP curse comes for every project that balloons too big in size, or which gets lost in the same traps that other projects have fallen in before. So that's why today I wanted to discuss a game which I follow very closely, both during its rise and eventual fall. Let's get into it. SCP Ground Zero, as it's known in its latest public release, is an SCP first-person shooter game created by Croatian developer Nick F. The game first released April 30th of 2020 under the name SCP Nucalypse. Reception at first was lukewarm, to say the least. Even if it showed potential and was one of the first games to introduce shooting mechanics to a single-player SCP game, it also was extremely buggy and unfinished, while also reusing concepts and SCPs already featured in previous games like Containment Breach. Even then, the future was bright and updates were sure to come, and that is when we arrive at the last major update: Terror and Fear. This time, the team really wanted to show people that the game could be scary, that it could separate itself from other SCP games, and form its own identity. The amount of new additions and reworks is massive, practically making it a whole new game, a remade like Containment Zone, and a complete overhaul of Heavy Containment Zone. SCP-106 with his dimension, SCP-330, an original look for SCP-173, new rooms, interactable objects, elevators, and even a story intro sequence. Nucalypse could only go up, and it did, with numerous teasers for the future update 1.1.0, promising new enemies in the form of Chaos Insurgents, ventilation shafts, increasing the size of zones, a general focus in combat and action, in general, more quantity and quality. But you might have noticed I said the last major update was Terror and Fear? Well, my viewer, this is when we say goodbye to Nucalypse and welcome Impressive. Very nice. Let's see Nick F's game. Look at that subtle visual style. The tasteful gunplay of it. Oh my god. It even has unique mechanics. The pinnacle of this game, and its latest incarnation, SCP Ground Zero. Although others prefer Unity or Isolation for their favorite console SCP game, but to me, Ground Zero represents everything the community needs when it comes to making big projects. A focus on narrative and story, presenting original gameplay opportunities, combined with a decent visual style and a good variety of anomalies to encounter. It has everything going for it. If only it was ever finished. Yes, knowing the title, the promise was no surprise, but Ground Zero was cancelled. The private beta testing demo was polished up and released as a full game, lasting around 30 to 40 minutes. By the way, you can find a logo I designed in one of the truck models, huh? While it does feature a big amount of what was promised, it doesn't come near close to the scope of the original plans, feeling like a test for what could have been. Shall we take a look at what was cut? Fighting human enemies from Chaos Insurgents to NTF using different weapons like shotguns, grenades, and other cut guns. Non-linear progression with multiple zones and environmental hazards, including random generation, blackouts, and vent system. A focus on story and narrative which builds throughout the events of the game. 5 game modes, with only 2 making it in: campaign and shooting gallery, the rest being free mode, lights out, and commentary. numerous tools to add variation to gameplay, from gas mask to night vision goggles to laser pointers for guns. A good mechanic relating to using a special camera to find messages throughout the environment and know where SCP-966 is located at, was good too. For the full release, this was transformed into special goggles system, which is used for many puzzles around the demo. Numerous improvements to existing SCPs like SCP-173 using the vent system, or the addition of SCP-939 and SCP-363 offspring in the vents. An extensive system for door keycards and weapon inspection to know how many bullets left you have. The MTF Charlie 9 has a Cobras logo that I designed, which appears in a random truck. Multiplayer, and finally a gigantic amount of good rooms and zones! That was a long list. Still, no one can deny that the team gave their all in for this final release, and I applaud them for that. In current times, Nick F. is working with Subtle Bravado Studios on SCP-Valverde, a promising upcoming first-person game published by Critical Reflex, featuring a much larger scope and ambition, following the footsteps of its predecessor, making Ground Zero live in spirit, even if it's a shame it never got completed. That's all for today, see you around next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.